A landmark intelligence report that provides key insight into the 2020 election. That declassified report says Russia and Iran both tried to sway the outcome of the presidential election through the spread of misinformation and also undermining voter confidence. But the U.S. government found that no evidence that any technical aspect of the voting process, like registration or the casting of ballots or tabulation, was disrupted. The report further validates the legitimacy of the November election.
And it also shows that Russia supported former President Donald Trump's re-election while Iran opposed the former president. Both nations had approval to intervene in the election from the highest rankings of their governments. And tonight, NewsNation reporter Felicia Bolton has the very latest for you.
In a 15-page report, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence confirms there were foreign attempts to meddle in the 2020 U.S. federal elections. The report found no evidence that any foreign actor changed votes or otherwise disrupted the voting process. But the intelligence community assessment reveals that Russia's government attempted to influence the 2020 presidential campaign with misleading or unsubstantiated allegations against then-candidate Joe Biden. The report also reveals Iran attempted to sway voters through a multi-pronged covert influence campaign against then-candidate Donald Trump. Cyber experts believe many of these attempts happened online, specifically via social media.
Well, I think it's a confirmation of what many people in the disinformation community have been aware of for some time now, and unfortunately, something that the Trump administration was not giving voice to.
Nina Jankowicz is the Disinformation Fellow at the Wilson Center and the author of How to Lose the Information War.
There are actors around the world who continue to attempt to influence our political processes. Russia is among them. Iran is among them. What was shocking to me was to see that China actually chose not to, according to the intelligence community, either interfere or influence the election. They deemed it not important enough for their interests to make such a risky move because...
And the assessment, U.S. intelligence agents say China sought stability in its relationship with the United States and did not view either election outcome as being advantageous enough for China to risk blowback if caught. The report also says that on a smaller scale, a range of additional foreign actors, including Lebanese Hezbollah, Cuba, and Venezuela, took some steps to attempt to influence the election. Political science professor Dr. Mordecai Lee has analyzed presidential elections during the social media age.
After all, when it was the 2016 election, and after the election, it turned out that there was Russian meddling, and that it apparently was quite effective, and that it was working both sides of the street, and nobody could tell the fingerprints that were on it. That was sort of the initial shock. And then President Trump gets elected. He sort of denies that Russia interferes because he felt that would undercut the credibility of his win.
Dr. Lee says this report serves as a reminder how disinformation can thrive online and influence people's decisions.
I think it's something that we as Americans need to pay attention to and not be blasé about the internet. You know, we live with it all day. We stare at our screens all day. Have we gotten smart enough to always ask ourselves, what is this site? Where does it come from? Who is the authorizer of it? Who is the sponsor of it?
Although the government did investigate, Jankowicz believes the best line of defense starts with the online users themselves.
If people take it upon themselves to understand that they are really the front lines of the information war, and they take a little bit of care before they share, we might be in a different situation today.
Felicia Bolton, NewsNation, Chicago.